YouTube, hello, and we're back with another speed lab, and this time it didn't take me 3 months for another one. So yeah, today we're gonna be doing Alisa speed lab, as you guys can see, and Alisa is a very annoying character. I decided to start with Lars because, you know, he was pretty damn annoying, and Alisa is up there. And most likely the next one is gonna be Leo. Most likely. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, most likely it's gonna be Leo. So let's talk Alisa for now. Let's talk Alisa. So, as I mentioned in my previous speed lab as well, when I was talking about Lars, I'm mostly gonna cover Season 2 stuff. It's mostly gonna be Season 2. So it won't be like other full mind games like I did in Season 1. So yeah, Season 2 Alisa. The most annoying things you will deal with when it comes to Alisa is her chainsaw into fly mix-ups. So let's talk about them first. So when Alisa is in chainsaw, she was always very strong, and she was always very annoying to deal with. But you could sidestep some follow-ups sometimes, right? But now we have different situations. The situations are wildly different. Because the forward 1+2, afterwards, like let's say you block this, right? After you block this, sometimes it was good to sidestep to the left, but now the property changed. Now when you block this, it's not the same, and when you block this, the Alisa player can go into this flying stance. So this is what's important to know about and how to deal with. Okay, so when the Alisa player goes to chainsaw, let's say you block this and it's going to fly stats, there are a few options. And most common options are 3, which is the low option, which basically beats everything that you do unless you duck. Maybe you can rage guard it. I think you can rage guard it. Okay, so you can rage guard it and duck it. So the 3 options, let me just showcase the option. This is the low. And this low, let's say you try to press here, will counter launch you. So I would not recommend pressing here too much. And you also cannot step this, so it's unsteppable. You can't step this. Maybe when on a wifey character, maybe Lily can step it, right? But I'm just talking about the average character, someone like us. So yeah, you cannot step this, the 3 that beats it. You can restart all options. Oh damn, that's good to know actually. That is good to know. But I'm guessing Alisa can just do, I don't know, nothing to stop it. Or just not go into stance. Hopefully they don't buff Alisa because of that. But yeah. That 3, you just have to duck it. It's a pure mix-up, you have to duck. And outside of the duck, let's discuss the other options. So, the other option, the other most common one, is the new mid. So this new mid is forward 1+2 from the stance. In the mid mix-up, that's +7. Now the good thing here is that we don't have to stand there and take it. And you should not stand there and take it. If you have the read on the mid, let's say you think that the mid is coming, you should 100% sidestep it. Stuff like this. But there's one thing to realize about this right here, the sidestep. It's very important that you buffer this sidestep. Because if you don't buffer it correctly, let's say I'm doing it a little bit late, you are gonna get hit. That was a late sidestep. Season 2 introduced buffered sidesteps, and we have to use it here. So basically press down a little bit early for him to sidestep and then punish this. Because if you don't buffer it, this will be almost impossible to step. Okay, so when you do block this move, by the way, this move is +7 as I already showcased, so you have to be very careful. Let me just showcase that again. This one right here. So this is +7, so you have to be careful. Mashing won't be the best of the idea. Something like this might catch you, something like a 1 might catch you, like a forward 1. So be a little bit careful. It does have pushback, so it will be a little bit okay, but it's still +7. You gotta be careful with your options. If you do block it, let's say, you know, you just take it, just block it. Sometimes you do that because you don't want to commit to either option, just to play it safe. So that's about forward 1+2. That's another mid option, but Alisa has another mid option, which is quite good. It's the forward 1+2 stance into 1+2. I messed up the input. Wait 1 second. I'm mashing. This one right here. So this 1+2 is another mix-up, a mid mix-up. That mixes up almost perfectly. I think the frames are perfectly aligned, right? They're not perfectly aligned, but it's pretty damn good. with the 3. This is 12 frame startup, the other one's 16, so it's a very good mix-up. But the good thing about this is that both of the mid options are steppable to the right. But as I said, it's very important to buffer this. This has the same problem that if you don't buffer it, you are gonna get hit. You can't just react to it a little bit and then sidestep. You can't do that. You have to buffer it. So basically sidestep before the animation is over. And when you do, you are gonna get the back and, you know, do a combo, whatever combo you want. Backturn combo. So to be very, very simple about it, basically the mid options that most Alisa players will go for is steppable to the right, and then you'll get their back and then a combo. And the low option, you just have to duck. There's nothing you can do about the low option. Rage art works, but you don't always have rage. So you just have to duck it. So the mix-up is a pretty simple mix-up. You either duck or sidestep right. But there are some outliers when it comes to this as well. The big outlier here, what I found, is the 4 option, this one. So this 4 option, right here, unlike the other mids, tracks to the right. But it's very minus on block. So Alisa players, unless they have a very hard read and they have a lot of confidence, they won't use this too much. But there are Alisa players, they might, so you have to be ready for it. So when you block it, you just have to, you know, electrocute or launch it or whatever. And you cannot sidestep duck, no. You don't have the time to sidestep duck because the low is too fast. The low is way too fast, you cannot do it. But yeah, just be on the lookout on this 4 because this 4 will track your sidestep right and it will launch you because it's a normal hit launcher. But if they do it, let's say, if they do it and you block it, you have to launch it. And the mix-up situation on this move as well, this one, not this one, this, is exactly the same as forward 1+2. It's exactly the same. So whenever you get hit by this low and the Alisa player goes into stance, you can do exactly the same things and guess it exactly in the same way when it comes to the forward 1+2 situation. They're both the same amount of plus. Exactly the same, basically. You can sidestep the mids, like forward 1+2 and 1+2. You cannot do anything about the low, other than ducking it. And the 4 will track you if you try to sidestep to the right. Basically, it's exactly the same situation. You don't have to overcomplicate it. The only difference here is that down 2... Let me just hit it. When it transitions, you're in just a weird animation. And this might catch you a little bit off guard. You see that animation? The animation is a little bit weird. It might catch you off guard, but as I said, just remember that the situation is mostly the same. It is mostly the same. It also like forces crouch, but in Season 2 that doesn't matter when you try to sidestep, but it does matter when you try to mash. So that's why, as I said, do not mash in these situations. It's almost always going to be better to sidestep. Sidestep right though. If you go the other direction, things will track you. Okay, that's about down 2 and these 2 situations. But the fly situation has some other moves as well that the Alisa player can utilize. The biggest one is this one. So down back 1-1 is this little stance thingy, the kind of Gempo duck, I don't know what to call it, right? So this has a couple of options. So the mid, and the high. These are the most common options. I don't think there's anything else, right? The 2, but yeah. These 2. You won't see them much. So the high is the problem here. So this high, this one, can transition into this stance. Just like all the other moves I already talked about, right? But there's a big difference here. Unlike something like forward 1+2, which is +4. So if I transition into stance after forward 1+2, that's +4. Unlike these, down back 1 into the high, into transition, is +6. And these +2 frames make a lot of a difference. Well, I do say a lot, but only one thing changes. But it is a lot. And the big thing that changes here is that whenever this happens, this 1+2, I already discussed this option, right? This 1+2 option becomes unsteppable. You cannot step this anymore. This 1+2. There's nothing that you can do about this. No step left, no step right, no duck because it's a mid, no jab because it's too fast. And you can't even power crush it. You cannot power crush this. Unless you have a 6 frame power crush. If your power crush happens to be 6 frames, it will work. But you can literally do nothing about this. If you block this and the Alisa player decides to do the 1+2, there's nothing that you can do. Just stand there and eat it. That is exactly what you do. And you're still gonna get mixed up by forward 1+2 and the 3. Because, you know, as I said, this flying options, not flying options, but the flying stance has those options. So if you just stand there, you're gonna get mixed up. But outside from this one change, the +6 doesn't really matter too much. Because the forward 1+2 is still steppable. You know the new move, let me demonstrate that. Not this one. This one, the new mid. So this is still steppable, even in this +6 situation. So if you do commit to a step, let's say you buffer it, just like I said, it will still be steppable. But the low will still mix you up, the low will still track you, but the additional thing about the situation is that the mid will also track you. And the mid is something that you can't do anything about. Basically nothing. You can't even rage yard it. You don't have the time to rage yard. So you eat it. That's what you do. You just eat it. Mr. Paper? Oh, Babylon Zolo, thank you for following. I said called him Mr. Paper. Thank you for following. Okay. So that's about the fly mix-ups when it comes to like after move usages. But there's also some other situations when the fly mix-up will be applied. The big one is when the Alisa player is in Chainsaw, they might do this sidestep cancel, this one, either side, right? And the new addition in Season 2 is that they can go into the stance now after doing this. So this won't happen in the open too much, sometimes it will. But the most common situation when that will happen is when the Alisa player does back to 1 in Chainsaw, this move right here, goes into automatic sidestep and then does that. So the sequence is gonna look like something like this, basically. Wait 1 second. This, back to 1, sidestep this into whatever option. This is how it's gonna look like usually. Trailer 2 came out? Yeah, I did see it. I'm gonna watch it later. So these situations are the common ones. So after this, you're always gonna watch out for Power Crush, because the Power Crush is very annoying. But now we have to look out for this as well. Right, the sidestep thingy. So yeah, this is also important to know. And the other thing about this is that whenever the sidestep happens, it has a lot of evasion. So make sure to not to press something like if you press while standing forward there, it will most likely, you know, evade it. So be very, very careful about that. Okay, that's another change, very, very important. Now, I also demonstrated this, is this move. So this move was one of the bigger changes in my opinion. Obviously, the other changes were pretty damn big as well because of the mix-up potential. But this move is very strong. It's a very, very strong move. So this move is a chainsaw fly stance, normal fly stance to the forward 2. This is a hell sweep starter. And what they did to this move is that they changed this from -16 to -12. So this move became basically from launch punishable. I could wall standing 2. Very comfortably I could wall standing 2. To being -12 now. So you can't even twin piston it. If you're playing Gauss, right? This won't work. So you need to be able to punish this with wall standing 4 or a 12 frame punisher if you have one. Like Dragon Almost the shoulder, wall standing 1, or anything, right? As long as it's 12. And this is very, very important because this move right here, tracks really well. It does track really, really well. And right now I could step it. In the neutral it's a little bit iffy. But usually when they use it, in these kind of situations, like these are the situations they would use it in usually. You cannot step this. It tracks decently well. Like they won't just throw it down in the neutral mostly. So this is another option they have. I just wanted to showcase the other ones first because not a lot of people are using this for now. Which is very, very scary. Did the sidestep duck just work there? I've never seen that. Damn, new option unlocked, boys. A sidestep duck. By the way, if you sidestep duck, mids are gonna hit you. So I would not recommend it. But hey, it works. Maybe on a very hard read. But yeah, I would not recommend that. All mids are gonna hit you if you do that. But yeah, this low is also a very, very good option. It's a very strong option. Because if you want to punish it consistently, like every time, when you duck it, you have to do a while standing 4-4. You have to do it. And the reason this is bad for us is because we can't tell if someone's going to go for a hell sweep, which is the extension, or not. So, this one. That's a hell sweep. That's the same move. So, if you get hit by this, 30 damage, that's basically a hell sweep. Also tracks really well, as I said, right? And when you block it, let's say you block it. If they do go for the hell sweep, you can punish it. You can actually just punish it. Or wait for it, and then punish it. It's minus 33. You can't do that. But, as I said, you cannot tell if they're going to go for the hell sweep or not. So if you want a consistent punish, you have to always just mash your 12 frame punisher after you block the first hit. Because you don't know if they're going to go for the follow-up or not. You have no clue. And you don't have enough time to confirm it. Like, you can't visually confirm it. I've tried doing it. Well, I can't do it anyway. You guys might try. You can try, go in practice mode and see if you can. But I personally can't do it. So, yeah, this move is very, very important. If you want to consistently punish it, 12 frame punish every time. Every time you block the first hit. So, yeah, very important. Other important changes is something like down back 4. So down back 4 used to be launch punishable as well. And I think they made it faster. I think this used to be way slower. So down back 4 is now minus 14. For some characters it's still launch punishable. Like someone like Raven, Jin, Jun, and Azia. I can still launch it, right? With 1 stand 1-2. Minus 14. But it's much faster now. It's plus 2, a little bit of different animation. And it doesn't, I think it used to knock down, or maybe it was more plus, I forgot. But whatever the case, it has a different different hit now. And it also is not launch punishable anymore. It was, I don't remember how much minus it was, but it was pretty damn, minus. So that's about down back 4. That's also a very important change. Do I upload this kind of, yeah, I do. I'm actually recording for YouTube right now. So I will upload this either today or tomorrow. Okay. That's about down back 4. Okay, I think outside of heat, that's usually it. Unless I'm forgetting something. I think that's it. Outside of heat anyway. So in heat, a couple of things do change. I'm just going. And one of the biggest things is the existence of this move. 4-4-2, 1+2. So this is a new addition in heat that Alisa has. That's a +3 mid. And it's natural. So if the Alisa player decides to just throw this out and you get hit by it, it's 46 damage +3 mid that will wall splat you. So at the wall, this is going to be very powerful and it has a lot of range. So the number one thing to do against this is try to step the first hit. But in heat, I would not recommend stepping Alisa. I've made this mistake many times and I've tried to tell myself to stop doing it. And the main reason you don't step this character while she's in heat is because of this move, this one, 4-2-1. So let me just showcase this. Right, do this, 4-2-1, dash. So the existence of 4-2-1 basically forces you to play 2D again. Because this move right here, tracks really well. Right now I stepped it, but it tracks really, really well. Trust me about it. In the neutral, you will not be able to step it like this. And even if you do step the first hit, let's say you step the first hit, the second hit will always track you. But usually even the first hit tracks. So it has full tracking to the left if you try to step that side. You'll be able to step to the right sometimes, but the second hit will always track you. But yeah, 4-2 is very, very strong move. And when I said trust me on this, when it comes to you will not be able to sidestep even the first hit. You will not be able to step it, usually. Just trust me on that. And it's not worth stepping this character. Usually not worth. Anyway, because of that move. And I would say that, oh, sometimes it's worth stepping it. Maybe, and just eat the damage if anything. But this is a launcher. If this wasn't a launcher, then it would be maybe okay. But, you know, this is a launcher. Whatever combo, right? Doesn't matter. Full-on launcher, mid-mid, tracks very, very well. You can't do anything about that, and it's +5. So it's a crazy move. Absolutely crazy. I still can't believe they didn't nerf this. But, yeah. 4-2-1 is like the #1 reason you don't want to step. And 4-2, this move becomes way, way stronger because of that. Way stronger. Especially at the wall. Yeah, that's about that. Now let's talk about another mix-up situation that Alisa has, but it's heat specific. So Alisa, when Alisa goes in heat and she's in chainsaw, she can do 4-2-1. This one, I messed up the input. 4-2-1. Oh, why am I recording? And whenever she does this, she can finish the string and go into heat dash, right? Obviously. This is a counter hit string, and if the first hit counter hits you, if this counter hits you, the first 4-2. The whole thing is gonna be guaranteed. And the thing about this string and heat is that it is a heat engager. Why am I messing that up? So this will become +5, and you can't do anything about this because these are all chainsaws. You will not be able to sidestep it, parry it, power crush it. You don't have the time for anything. You basically have to block it, right? So this full string is pretty damn good. In general, it was always good. Excuse me. But in heat, they added something new. That new is that after 4-2-1, she can go into this fly stance that I was talking about. So you have to basically guess either the last hit is coming out. The last hit, which is the +5, it also launches. It's a launching heat engager, not heat engager, heat dash, launching heat dash. So you have to be careful. Either that comes out or the fly mix-up comes out. So if you do want to, let's say, hard read the Alisa player that they're gonna do a fly mix-up, you can. But if you try to do anything, let's say you try to sidestep. Let me just showcase this, right? Let's say you will try to sidestep after the 4-2-1 because let's say you think that they're gonna go into fly and do a mid or something. You are gonna get hit if you try to immediately sidestep. That is already said, you should always buffer your sidesteps when it comes to these mix-ups. So you cannot wait for the fly to come out and then, you know, react and then sidestep. It's gonna hit you. It's not gonna work. So this is a mix-up between either finishing the string, which is a +5 launching mid, that you can't do anything else about, which is crazy, right? It's pretty damn crazy. Or the fly mix-up. And the fly mix-up is gonna look something like this. In heat, in chainsaw, 4-2-1. I messed up my input. Why is the one not coming out sometimes? Let me try that again. And do this. This is how it's gonna look like. And as I said, if you want to do something about this, and you read it, you have to buffer your sidestep and, you know, sidestep the mid. For example, the other thing you can also do is just mash. You can also mash. But the thing is, you cannot counter the Alisa from fly stance, which is just kind of unfair. So if you mash something like a jab, it will be better just so you can floater. But yeah, you cannot counter the Alisa from the fly stance. The other thing you can also do is try to react to the fly and then jab, but the reason I don't recommend that is because the other options will 100% hit you. The 3 is too fast, it will hit you, it might even counter hit you. And 1+2, which is the other mid option, I already showcased these options, right? It will also hit you. So yeah, you're still stuck in the mix-up. You're still stuck in the same mix-up I talked about before, with like forward 1+2 chainsaw, down 2 chainsaw, exactly the same situation. But the added mind game here is that they can just finish the string and stop you from stepping. They do use heat for this, but yeah, it's very scary. You can react. You can't react because of her options being too fast. You can react to something like forward 1+2 with a jab because it's slow, but if they try anything else like the 3 or 1+2, which are very fast, you will not be able to react to it. Let me just demonstrate that as well, real quick. So this 3 right here. Because if you try to react to this, you will get countered. I tried to react as fast as I could there. It's just not worth it. The 1+2 will also catch you, which is the mid option. You will not be able to react to this no matter what. So you have to choose. If you want to play safe, let's say you want to play super safe, just don't do anything. Just stay there and, you know, eat whatever the hell is happening in your face. If you want to play super safe. If you want to have a read, you can sidestep right, and let's say they do the mid, it will be stepped, just like the mix-ups I already talked about, right? If you think the low is coming, you can duck afterwards, but yeah, just mix up. It's a mix-up. To put it very, very simply. I think that's it, right? I don't think I missed talking about anything. I talked about the chainsaw transitions. I talked about down back 1-1 transition. Down back 4, I talked about... Oh, I missed something. Wait, I just remembered. So one thing I missed, this is important, especially for cosplayers. Down 1. So this chainsaw low, it won't be used that much anymore. But this became minus 13 from minus 12. So this is very important for cosplayers and other characters that have like good 13 frame punishers. That every time you block this, do a 13 frame punish. You have to do it. Especially for cos, it's very important. Very, very important. I think Eddie can launch this as well. Not quite sure. But yeah, very, very important. The new trailer, I'll watch it a little bit later. After I'm done with the recording. Let me just think that if I missed something or not. I think the only thing I'm missing right now is the Heat Smash mix-up. Let me just think if I'm missing anything. I talked about down back 4, chainsaw 4 to 1+2, down 2, and all the good stuff. Yeah, all the stuff that's important I think I talked about. Now, last thing, is gonna be the Heat Smash. So when you block the Heat Smash, the Alisa player has the option to go into the boot stance. And I think this boot stance... Not I think. This boot stance does have the same kind of mix-up as the other situations I talked about. But the big difference here is that unlike the last situations, she's plus 10. So last situations, if you remember, like this one, plus 4. But when it comes to the Heat Smash, plus 10. So what does this plus 10 mean? This plus 10 means that your sidesteps won't work, basically. And it's a pure mix-up. Your sidesteps will not work, and it's gonna be a pure mix-up no matter what you do. You have to guess either forward 2 low, 3 low, 1+2 mid, forward 1+2 mid. So it's a pure guessing situation here, and you can't really do much about this. You really can't do much. I wish you could, but you can't. Plus 10 is way too much plus for this situation. Way too much. And you just have to eat whatever's coming. You just have to eat it. Or guess it, obviously. Alright. And I think that's gonna be it for Alisa, right? I did say it was gonna be a bit short. Because as I said, I'm not talking about everything, I'm just talking about the Season 2 stuff. Hopefully I didn't miss anything too important. Hopefully not. I don't think I did, but... yeah. So, everyone on YouTube, big thank you for watching. Big thank you. Hopefully it was useful. Hopefully. I mean, Alisa is very hard to deal with, even if you do know all of this stuff. I know from experience. But, yeah, hopefully it was helpful. And till the next one.